Chapter 31. Is it a blessing or a curse? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Feng Yuma talks eloquently. The Ghost Trench Badger, known as the flat-headed brother of Sudong. When fighting, he is not afraid of death. Once he sets his sights on his prey, he will pursue him until death and never back down. Its ruined crystal has 3 abilities: Fearlessness, Furious Strike, and Poison Eater. Among them, Furious Strike is a very powerful fighting skill, and it can be activated without restrictions on weapons. I once encountered a Ghost Trench Badger during an operation to suppress the ruins. After it launched the ability of Fearless and Furious Strikes, its combat power increased tenfold and entered a crazy mode, which was extremely difficult to deal with. In the end, we assembled 3 powers of the ruins. It took the strength of the team to kill him. Several years have passed since the incident, and Feng Yuma still remembers it deeply. Feng Qing interjected, "I've heard about this. The person you met must be the King Badger, right? Who took the Su crystal away later?" Feng Yuma said vaguely, "I don't know either. The trophies obtained after fighting so hard for so long should finally be handed over to the country." Feng Qing sneered, "That's what you think?" Zhong Yuan was very interested in the ability of Furious Strike and asked, "Where can I get the ruins crystal of the Ghost Trench Badger? I don't need one as valuable as the King Badger." Feng Qing said, "Either buy them on the black market, or go into the Square Realm to hunt them. I remember there should be a Square Realm where Ghost Trench Badgers are raised. However, Furious Strike is only a green-level ability, and its actual strength is limited. Brother Feng also said just now that the King Badger is difficult to deal with. Are you sure you want to absorb it?" "You're sure?" Zhong Yuan glanced at Feng Yuma subconsciously and said softly, "If I had the ability to fight, then I wouldn't have broken my fist. Can you stop looking at me? I don't want to be beaten by you anymore." Feng Yuma touched his nose in embarrassment and stopped trying to dissuade Zhong Yuan. He said in a deep voice, "Since you insist, leave the matter of Guihao Badger Shujing to me." Feng Qing smiled and said, "Hey. Brother Yofeng's words are solid." Zhong Yuan had a strange look on his face. Feng Qing immediately changed his mind. "I mean, he knows many rich women who buy and sell Su Jing." With just one phone call, they immediately bowed to Feng Shuai's 8-pack abs and offered Su Jing with both hands. Feng Yuma, it's finally dawn. After staying up all night, Feng Qing and Feng Yuma ran upstairs to catch up on some sleep. Zhong Yuanza and Zhong Lan made an appointment to have breakfast together in the cafeteria. He came to the dormitory downstairs in advance and waited. Before 7 o'clock, the automatic sensor door opened. Zhong Lan's petite figure appeared in front of her. She was wearing a specially tailored summer school uniform. The top is a pure white tie-up shirt, and underneath is a dark blue pleated skirt with borders, which looks extremely lively. Her chubby face showed a healthy rosiness, and her twin ponytails swayed behind her head as she walked. Although she is still young, she can foresee that when she grows up in the future, she will be a magnificent beauty. Several senior students from special classes happened to be passing by and saw Zhong Lan and couldn't help but take a few more glances. Zhong Yuan glared at these guys fiercely, and the latter looked away in panic and left quickly. Zhong Lan went out and immediately saw his brother leaning against the wall. "Huh? My brother's school uniform is so special, it's actually black. The school uniform for the special class is a blue and white suit, while the regular class is in pure white. The black school uniform is very conspicuous in the crowd." In fact, Zhong Yuan was wearing the exclusive uniform of the student union, and the word Feng Ji was embroidered on the sleeve of his right arm. He accepted Feng Qing's invitation to join the student union, and inexplicably became a disciplinary committee member responsible for maintaining order in the college. Because of this school uniform, the few special class students who were stared at didn't even dare to fart and hurriedly ran away. Zhong Lan's pace became faster and faster, and finally she threw herself into her brother's arms like a baby swallow. After not seeing each other for nearly a week, my thoughts and worries finally broke out. "Brother, you're going too far. You're obviously just here to accompany me in school. Why do you want to go to military training with them? I heard that you were seriously injured and only breathed when you were taken to the hospital. You don't want to. Don't be brave anymore. okay? I'm really worried about you. Depend on. Who spread rumors in front of my sister? I clearly don't have a breath left. Fortunately, Feng Qing only thought it was a state of suspended animation and did not report it, otherwise he would not be able to escape if he took away the slices for research. Zhong Yuan smiled bitterly and rubbed his sister's head, and said, "It's okay. It's just military training, it won't be a problem for your brother." "Look, where did my injury come from?" Zhong Yuan hooked his arm and said angrily, "No. If you don't agree, I will ignore you again. Good guy, you have learned to threaten your brother." He said that he would never care again, but his arms were tightly hooked and refused to let go at all. Zhong Yuan could only comfort him. Okay, I promise you I won't do anything dangerous in the future. That's pretty much it." Zhong Yuan immediately beamed, like a proud peacock, holding his head high and saying, "From now on, just let me protect my brother." Zhong Yuan was slightly startled. "My sister seems to be different from before, could it be that what happened these days?" Zhong Yuan asked indirectly, Lan, has the instructor given you any special study arrangements these days?" Zhong Yuan originally wanted to hide it and give him a surprise. When asked proactively, he answered honestly, "There are no special study arrangements. It's just that, Uncle Lin has been here and brought me a Su crystal." She turned around happily, pointed at herself and said, "Brother, I am now a great Su Ning user." Zhong Yuan was completely stunned. Lin Dongliang's actions were too fast. He arranged for Zhong Yuan to absorb Su crystals without telling him in advance. Other students had to work hard to enter the Fangjie to hunt for Su crystals, but Zhong Yuan could easily use Su crystals as long as he followed Lin Dongliang's arrangements. Is this a blessing or a misfortune? Zhong Yuan's mood was very complicated. It's not easy to be manipulated by others. But for others, it's an opportunity that no one would refuse. Zhong Yuan said in a deep voice, "What Su crystal did he give you?" Zhong Lan's tone was full of pride, and he replied, "The Su crystal of the Fire Cloud Queen Bee, a top-level alien race of the Qing level. Queen Bee." Zhong Yuan's pupils shrank slightly. The Su crystal of the King-level alien race has hidden abilities. Lin Dongliang was willing to give out such a precious Su crystal. He was determined to get Zhong Yuan to join the Nighthawk squad. This guy. Zhong Yuan narrowed his eyes and changed the subject, asking, "What do you think of Uncle Lin? Is he good to you?" Zhong Yuan thought for a while and said, "Uncle Lin is very good to me. During the days when you went to military training, he asked me to eat well every day. I wanted you to come back early, so he called the instructor. He also gave me such a precious Su crystal, and said that even if the absorption failed, it would not be my fault. After doing so many things, it would be a lie to say that I was not moved." At this moment, even Zhong Yuan had an illusion. He and Zhong Lan were children given by their parents for recharging their phone bills, and Lin Dongliang was Lan Lan's biological father who had been separated for many years. Chapter 32 Instructor's Expectations. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Seeing Zhong Lan's smug look, Zhong Yuan knew that she must have succeeded in absorbing the ability. His mood became more complicated. It was not the joy of having a little sister grow up, rather, Zhong Yuan seemed to see that Zhong Lan had returned to the old path of killing monsters crazily. Lin Dongliang had a great favor for her. It was Lin Dongliang who changed her fate. And the end of her fate was that she fought to death with the Black Claw in the cave. Zhong Yuan murmured, "I won't let the same tragedy happen again." "Brother. What are you talking about?" Zhong Yuan pouted angrily and said depressedly, "You didn't even ask me what ability I absorbed. You don't care about me anymore." Zhong Yuan collected his thoughts and asked quickly, "What ability is it?" There was a hint in his mind that he could absorb all the abilities in a ruined crystal and upgrade it. "What about Zhong Lan?" "They are siblings. Does she also have such a golden finger?" At this time, Zhong Lan said proudly, "I have absorbed 2 abilities. Super Speed and Tian Yuan." In terms of the knowledge of alien races, Zhong Yuan is really a novice. Super Speed, as the name suggests, should be the ability to accelerate. Tian Yuan, what is this ability? Seeing her brother's confused face, Zhong Yuan couldn't help but show off a little. The two walked along the tree-lined path towards the cafeteria. there was a pure copper sculpture on the lawn in front. The image was two people with their arms open to the sky. Zhong Yuan walked quickly to the sculpture and said with a smile, "Brother, look at it." As soon as the voice fell, she turned around without warning. The short legs swung out a fierce leg whip, slamming on the pure copper sculpture. The pleated skirt lifted 1 foot, revealing the cute white safety pants. The extremely hard sculpture couldn't withstand the huge force, and was kicked in half by this kick. The metal fragments were scattered on the lawn. The two copper men embracing the sun and the future were instantly killed by the little sister. Zhong Yuan landed on the ground, exhaled a breath of turbid air, and said proudly, Tian Yuan, greatly increase your own attack power, and gather the power in 1 point. Attack is sure to hit. Red level LV3. This is the hidden ability of the Fire Cloud King Bee that has never been discovered, let alone how much attack can be increased. The attribute of being sure to hit is enough to defy the sky. As long as Zhong Yuan absorbs another powerful attack skill and cooperates with Tian Yuan to perform, she will definitely take off and be among the strong. Moreover, she is the first Suning person with Tian Yuan ability. Her name will be recorded in the history of Suning. It's a pity that she failed to absorb the most powerful fire attack ability of the King Bee, but she has brought great surprise to everyone. Zhong Yuan still remembers the look of Uncle Lin crying with joy when she absorbed Tian Yuan. She longed to see her brother praising her with a surprised look on his face. However, the imagined situation did not happen. Her brother's reaction was a bit flat. Her mood suddenly became low, and she whispered, "Brother, what's wrong with you? Why are you not happy at all?" Of course Zhong Yuan couldn't be happy. The younger sister has already shown a tendency to become violent. Without thinking, she kicked the bronze statue to pieces. When her power becomes stronger, won't it be a big deal? Zhong Yuan was worried, and his heart almost jumped again. He said faintly, Lan, of course I am happy that you have absorbed such a powerful ability. But have you ever thought that you have to pay for kicking school property? Ah. Zhong Yuan opened her mouth and finally realized that she had gone too far. She lowered her head in shame and apologized, "I'm sorry, I was too excited and didn't think about this kind of thing." Zhong Yuan rubbed her hair and said, "It's good to have power. But this power is not for you to abuse. Protecting things you think are worth it is the right way." "Yeah. I understand." Zhong Yuan nodded, but she didn't agree in her heart. If she doesn't show her power, others will only look down on her. Just like when she absorbed the ruins crystal that day, the instructor had obviously given up and didn't help her to activate the energy. It was she who relied on her own ability to successfully absorb the heavenly yuan. Now, is she still afraid that the instructor won't help? The instructor said that he was willing to help her activate the energy at any time. What's the big deal about kicking a bronze statue? Zhong Yuan said gently, "After breakfast, I will write a self-criticism, and then we will go to the instructor's office to turn ourselves in together." Zhong Yuan said uneasily, "I shouldn't be punished, right?" Zhong Yuan smiled, "You are still young and ignorant. Even if you have to be punished, it is my responsibility. I didn't take good care of you." Zhong Yuan said loudly, "If the college punishes you, then I will tell Uncle Lin to ask them to revoke your punishment." Zhong Yuan comforted, "He is a major after all, don't treat him as a nanny." Breakfast was eaten in the midst of Zhong Lan's constant worry and self-blame. Zhong Yuan wrote a 2 or 3-page self-review by hand. After polishing it and feeling that there was no problem, he took his sister to the instructor's office. There were surveillance cameras everywhere in the college. As long as the records were checked, they would know who had damaged the statue. It was better to admit the mistake and ask for leniency. Zhong Yuan decided to take all the blame on himself and was mentally prepared to be punished. As a result, Lu Wen did not say anything when she heard about their purpose, but just lightly reprimanded Zhong Yuan. "Well played, don't play again next time." "Why? Is it that simple? No need to pay. It's too tolerant." Since he is not responsible, Zhong Yuan will not take the initiative to offer compensation. "Instructor, if nothing happens, my sister and I will leave first." Just as she was about to get out of the way, Lu Wen hesitated and suddenly said, "Zhong Yuan, you performed very well in this military training. Do you want to try to absorb the Su crystal and become a Su energy user?" I am free now and can activate the energy for you. Failing to notice that Zhong Yuan was an ordinary person put him in danger and almost died in Fangjia. Lu Wen felt guilty and wanted to make amends. Zhong Yuan was startled. The instructor doesn't know that I have become a Su Neng. Feng Qing didn't communicate with her. He is also a sinister guy. He thought for a while and said, "Thank you, instructor, for your kindness. I don't think you need your help to activate it." Really? Lu Wen was slightly disappointed. It seems that Zhong Yuan did not find the Su Jing in the Shimen mountain area. That's right, his watch was robbed, and it was not easy to come out alive. Lu Wen thought bitterly. What on earth was I expecting? Just because my sister's talent is incredible doesn't mean that his talent is incredible too. Moreover, he has no interest in Su Ning at all and refused my help right away. Alas, even if you don't need it now, you can try it again after you get the Su crystal. What are you doing with your words? Wait, that uniform is from the student union. Lu Wen blinked. What else is Feng Qing doing? Why does he let Zhong Yuan join the student union? Chapter 33 Zhonglan's Wish. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Could it be that Feng Qing wanted him to run errands for the student union because he saved Zhong Yuan? Looking at Zhong Yuan again, his face was so ugly. Feng Qing must have deliberately kept something back and didn't want to help him recover completely. Lu Wen frowned and said softly, "Zhong Yuan, no one can force you to do something you don't want to do. If you encounter any troubles, you must tell me in time. In fact, you don't have to force yourself to accompany your sister to the special class. Your sister is the youngest student in the class, and the college will give her special care as appropriate. In fact, the teaching arrangement of the special class is very different from that of the ordinary class. The first half of the semester is mainly based on cultural courses and theoretical common sense. There will be an assessment at the midterm, and a group of students who have not become Su Ning will be eliminated. The next step is all practical exercises and confrontation courses. Zhong Yuan can only audit in the classroom for half a semester at most. When all the cultural courses are over, it will be difficult to accompany him to the following courses if he is not a Su Ning. Lu Wen spent 5 minutes explaining the teaching arrangement to Zhong Yuan in detail. Do you understand now? If you want to take classes with your sister, you can only become a Su Ning master. Zhong Yuan whispered, "I understand." The expression of indifference clearly did not look like he understood anything. Lu Wen sighed. In that case, I won't say much. You can go. Thank you, instructor. Goodbye, instructor. Lu Wen watched the brother and sister leave the office, muttering, "My brother tried his best to protect his sister, but he didn't know that his sister was a dragon among men and was about to soar into the sky. If this continues, the gap between the brother and sister will only get bigger and bigger. Alas. Forget it. Outsiders can't care so much about their brother and sister's affairs." After being busy for a week every day to enable students to be able to do things, Lu Wen herself still had a self-criticism to write. In addition, she just received news that the ranking of the list of young Su Ning masters in China had changed. Feng Yuemo, who ranked 68th, was replaced by a man named Xian Ming, and his position dropped 1 place to 69th. Xian Ming, the first time he was on the list, he rushed into the top 100, and he got to the top by stepping on the second young master of the Feng family. Even if the Feng family has gradually declined in recent years, a lean camel is bigger than a horse, and it is not an existence that ordinary people can challenge. Why challenge Feng Yuemo when there are so many people? This young man named Xianming must be the heir trained by a super family. No wonder Feng Yuemo was beaten black and blue when they met in Fangjia that day. Perhaps it was the injury left after the battle with Xianming. Lu Wen developed a strong curiosity about Xianming. In fact, she was also on the youth list, but her ranking was relatively low, ranking outside the top 300. However, this did not prevent her from paying attention to the changes in the top of the list. Qineng is an extremely rare auxiliary system. Lu Wen chose to stay as a teacher after graduating from Qingying College because she had always dreamed of using her abilities to discover new abilities contained in the ruins crystal. Lu Wen envied Zhong Lan very much. At a young age, she discovered the hidden abilities of the Fire Cloud Queen Bee, which directly realized her dream. Comparing yourself to others is really frustrating. Lu Wen picked up the self-review on the desk and was about to throw it into the trash can. after a casual glance, she was attracted by the beautiful regular script. After reading a few paragraphs, she exclaimed, "It's so well written. This self-review can be used as a template. Just copy it for me." Zhong Yuan and Zhong Lan left the office. Suddenly, he heard his sister say, "Brother, don't be a Su Neng." "Why do you think so?" Zhong Lan twisted her fingers and said in a dilemma, "Su Neng are all short-lived ghosts, I just need to be a short-lived ghost. My brother must live a long life." Zhong Yuan felt a little heartache. So, did she realize at this time that Su Neng could die at the hands of aliens at any time? "No, my Lan Lan is a little genius, how could she be short-lived?" Zhong Lan pouted and said, "I don't care, brother must live longer than me. Otherwise, there is no point in me becoming a Su Neng person." Zhong Yuan rubbed her hair hard and said, "You are only 12 years old, why do you think so much? 12 years old is a carefree age, who would think that they are short-lived? It must be that Lin Dongliang put too much pressure on her, causing her to think about something all day long." Zhong Lan secretly observed her brother's expression, and saw that there was a haze between his eyebrows, and immediately smiled. "Okay. I know. Don't think so much. Brother, there is still half a day off, let's go to the zoo, okay? Hee, you can enter for free, I want to see pandas." "Well, okay." In order to dispel his sister's wild thoughts, Zhong Yuan agreed to her request. He was completely in the dark, not knowing that he had an extra alias. It was thanks to Feng Qing and Feng Yuma's sudden inspiration that they gave a fake name, which caused those who wanted to confirm Xian Ming's identity to be in a panic and unable to find him. Otherwise, Zhong Yuan would be targeted as soon as he left the college, and it would be impossible for him to go to the zoo with his sister. Peacefully, the last day of the holiday passed like this. In the evening, the brother and sister returned to Qingying College. Zhong Lan was exhausted from playing, so he sent her back to the dormitory and settled her down. Then Zhong Yuan received a call. "Dear sir, there is a courier for you. Please bring your ID card and pick it up at the entrance of the college." "What's going on?" Zhong Yuan was confused and rushed to the entrance of the college, only to see a courier waiting for a long time. He was wearing a pink rabbit ear helmet, which meant he was a gold medal courier. On his chest was a company advertisement that read, "Dongfeng Express, mission accomplished." Zhong Yuan's expression was slightly condensed. Military background? Looking at the delivery, it was not big, just a 30 by 30 box. After confirming the identity of the recipient, the guy smiled heartily, revealing a big white tooth. "Brother, it's not easy for me to run an order, please give me a good review, thank you." Zhong Yuan nodded reflexively. "Thank you. Thank you. If there are orders next time, please give me priority. I can give you a 20% discount." "That's it, goodbye." The courier left in a hurry. Zhong Yuan took the express back to the warehouse dormitory, and he couldn't find the sender no matter how hard he tried. Could there be a bomb inside? Zhong Yuan carefully opened the outer package. There was an exquisitely carved ebony box inside. After opening it, 10 pale yellow Su crystals were neatly arranged in a row in the box. There was a label under each Su crystal, Ghost Trench Badger Su crystal. In addition, there was a piece of paper clipped on the lid. Zhong Yuan took it down curiously, and saw a row of beautiful small words on the paper. "Mo Lang, since you left without saying goodbye that day, I can't sleep at night and have no appetite. I thought I had completely cut off contact with you, but I didn't expect that I could renew my relationship with you in my lifetime. See you at 8 p.m. on September 15th, Fisherman's Wharf. Good guy. Su crystal plus love letter." Zhong Yuan was stunned. In fact, he didn't believe Feng Qing's nonsense at all, but the facts were in front of him, and he couldn't help but believe it. There really was a rich woman who sent Su crystals to Feng Yumo. Feng Yumo must have not even opened the things when he got them, and directly forwarded them to him. Chapter 34. You can join the student union, but you can only run errands. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Feng Yumo has dealt with the matter of the Ghost Badger crystal and has already flown back to Guangyuan City. Zhong Yuan forgot to ask for his phone number, and the rich woman who left the note has no contact information. What to do? Find Feng Qing. No way. This guy is not very reliable. He might post the rich woman's love letter on the billboard in front of everyone. It feels like Feng Qing is this kind of person. There is no other way. I will go there in person and explain it to the rich woman and let her contact Feng Yumo herself. By the way, thank her. No hurry, there are still several days before September 15th, so absorb the crystal first. Zhong Yuan took a crystal in his hand. A prompt immediately appeared in his mind. I found the Ghost Badger's crystal, do you want to absorb it? The Ghost Badger crystal has the following abilities. Fearless, blue level, cannot be upgraded. Raging attack, blue level, can be upgraded. Poison eater, blue level, cannot be upgraded. Skill description. Fearless, remove all mental control. Raging strike, requires the ability fearless. Randomly improves fighting skills. Poison eater, immune to all toxins. The higher the concentration of toxins in the body, the stronger the ability. The maximum increase in attack power does not exceed 148%. No wonder Feng Qing said that the upper limit of the ability of the Ghost Trench Badger is not high. There are 3 abilities in total, and 2 cannot be upgraded. Fearless is still a little useful, Poison Eater is completely useless. Not only does it require taking poison, but the improvement is not high, immune to toxins. Zhong Yuan himself is immune to toxins. Moreover, Raging Strike actually randomly improves fighting skills, and you must have Fearless. No wonder Feng Qing said that few people get this ability. The probability of absorbing both abilities of the Ghost Trench Badger at the same time is very low. However, this problem is not a problem for Zhong Yuan at all. He secretly rejoiced that fortunately, Poison Eater and Fearless do not need to consume Ruin Crystals to upgrade. If all 3 abilities require Ruin Crystals, with his old luck, he will definitely get these 2 abilities. After absorbing the 3 abilities of the Ghost Badger, Zhong Yuan absorbed all the remaining 9 Ruins Crystals. As expected, the Furious Attack reached the blue level LV2. The ability description did not change. Zhong Yuan walked to the shelf where the cold weapons were placed and took down a long sword. The Furious Attack was activated. He recalled the sword technique taught by Feng Yumo in his mind, and his body moved unconsciously. The sword shadows formed a piece, opening and closing, domineering and unparalleled. Zhong Yuan was like a different person. He felt very happy after using the whole set of sword techniques. So, this is how to use a sword. I know how to use a sword. No wonder the big shrimps in the TV series have to roar to the sky when they reach a certain level. The feeling of flowing clouds and water is really cool. However, it is impossible to roar. It was dark, and the sound insulation of the warehouse was not very good. If it was heard outside, people would think he was mentally ill. After practicing sword techniques for a while, Zhong Yuan put down the long sword with satisfaction. It is different when you have the ability to bless. All the previous training was done on dogs. If I had known earlier that there was such a useful ability, why would I have wasted time? Then, he took another long sword from the shelf. During the training, Feng Yumo found that he was not suitable for using a knife, so he taught him a set of Chuyu swordsmanship. Swordsmanship is also a treasure collected by the Feng family. The sword is light and ethereal, focusing on skills, and does not require much strength. After holding the sword, Zhong Yuan's momentum changed, his domineering aura was restrained, and he showed his agility, stabbing, chopping and slashing, showing his essence. If Feng Yumo was by his side, he would definitely find that Zhong Yuan's swordsmanship had reached the level of entering the hall, and had a certain degree of maturity, which was equivalent to the skills of 3 to 5 years of hard practice. Good. Very good. Zhong Yuan's eyes were shining, and he was very satisfied with the current situation. Before absorbing the Ruins Crystal, he was still a fighting novice. Now, basically, he can use any weapon. When he doesn't have a weapon, he fights with his bare hands. The Furious Attack is really amazing. Moreover, he did not feel tired after practicing for more than half an hour. If he wanted to further improve his fighting ability, he only needed to absorb more Shujing. He would find a chance to find out where the Ghost Trench Badger's realm was. After the training, Zhong Yuan entered the study room on the 2nd floor. Lu Wen had persuaded him earnestly during the day. In fact, Zhong Yuan was not worried about any practical courses at all. On the contrary, Lin Dongliang's requirement that he had to spend a little more time on the general subject exams to get more than 90 points. If he failed to meet one course, Lin Dongliang would have a reason to cancel his eligibility to accompany him, although Zhong Yuan was very confident in his cultural courses. What if the exam papers of Wanying College were very difficult? He would first solve the most troublesome mathematics. Zhong Yuan took out the exercise book and started to practice questions. On the other side, the student union's special classroom was brightly lit. A group of people gathered around the conference table, discussing something fiercely. I don't agree with the new student named Zhong Yuan joining the student union. He just entered school this year, he has no qualifications and no ability. Everyone, take a look at his admission information. He is a first-year student in the regular class and an auditor in the special class. Ha! This is ridiculous. When did our Wanying College have such a system of auditors? A boy with a brush-like haircut expressed his opinion excitedly, spitting everywhere. The people around him subconsciously kept a distance from him. A girl said calmly, "Lei Bo, don't get excited. Maybe the president just wants to take him in as a handyman, helping with copying, shopping, running errands, etc." I don't think so. The boy sitting to the lower right of Feng Qing dyed bright red hair and said coldly, "It's just running errands, there's no need to give him the position of discipline committee member. The requirements for discipline committee members are very high. Not only must they be strong, but they must also have good morals, be able to handle disputes impartially, and stand up in emergencies. Moreover, discipline committee members have the right to supervise the work of the student union president. Once the president fails to perform his duties, the removal procedure can be initiated throughout the school. This is the most powerful position in the student union after the president. Feng Qing is about to graduate. Once he leaves, the position of student union president is likely to be replaced by the discipline committee member. This is a convention. Several second-year backbones in the student union felt that Feng Qing's appointment was unreasonable and were indignant. Another person spoke up, "President, even senior Shangguan said it's unreasonable." The red-haired guy is called Shangguan Yi, who is in the same class as Feng Qing and is also a senior who will graduate next year. Originally, he was the discipline committee member, but he was bored and didn't want to do it. He spent 2 years in the student union, just hanging around to get resources and not taking care of anything. Feng Qing had a headache when he saw him. Shangguan Yi said again, "What I mean is that it's unreasonable to ask the discipline committee members to run errands. I didn't say it's unreasonable to ask freshmen to run errands." Feng Qing was almost confused by his rationality and irrationality, and couldn't help but say, "Shangguan Yi, speak human language." Shangguan Yi said simply, "You can join the student union, but you can only run errands." Feng Qing was so angry that he laughed at this group of people. "Are you kidding me?" He almost gave up his life in exchange for Zhong Yuan's agreement to join the student union, and they actually wanted him to run errands. Chapter 35 Confidence. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The girl who spoke before was named Jian Ro, and she served as the student union secretary. She is very popular and is the best talker in the student union. Realizing that Feng Qing was about to get angry, Jian Ro hurriedly smoothed things over and said, "Shangguan Yi, the president must have his own considerations." Shangguan Yi said calmly, "He has his own considerations, but the student union is not the president's say. Don't forget, I still have the name of the disciplinary committee member, and I can remove him." Feng Qing sneered, "You're a corpse-like guy, and you still have the nerve to criticize me?" Shangguan Yi said calmly, "Am I in the right position? The people from Wanying College came to play in the gym 2 years ago. Who fought them off? Who led the college to the top 10 in the college league last year? Feng Qing, you are trying to burn bridges. Don't think that you can do whatever you want because you are from the treatment department. Without our people from the combat department, you can't do anything." Several people on the side started shouting 666 to Shangguan Yi. As expected of a boss, he was the only one who dared to confront the president. Jian Ro said hurriedly, Okay, just say a few words, don't hurt the harmony." Feng Qing said indifferently, "You are the only one who thinks there is still harmony between me and him. Anyway, the name has been reported to the college. From next month, Zhong Yuan will enjoy the treatment of a student union cadre. It is useless for you to object." "I will, sir, I have direct appointment authority." Shangguani, you can initiate the dismissal. However, you must first ask all the teachers and students in the school whether they agree, that while Feng Qing was in control of the student union, although he did not accomplish much, he did not make any mistakes, led the college to participate in the Suning College League and was ranked in the top 10 twice, without any breakthroughs or points dropped. It would be very difficult to remove him. Okay. Let's adjourn the meeting. Feng Qing said and left directly. Jian Ro organized the meeting minutes. In fact, it was just a quarrel and there was nothing to organize at all. After collecting the information, he said, "It's getting late, so I'm going back. The last person to leave, please remember to turn off the lights." After they both left, Lei Bo said angrily, "What a meeting to discuss is actually asking us to unilaterally accept his decision." "Brother Yi, can you swallow this tone?" Shangguan Yi said calmly. "Lei Bo, don't come to provoke me. I will graduate next year, and it doesn't matter whether I am the disciplinary committee member or not. On the other hand, if you miss this opportunity, it will be difficult for you to get back to the position." Lei Bo sighed and said, "I know very well how much I weigh. I just don't want to see our college getting worse and worse. All cats and dogs can join the student union." "You have a good intention," Shangguani said, "since Feng Qing is determined to let the new student in, then let him in. It's not that easy to be a disciplinary committee member. Do you understand what I mean?" Lei Bo's eyes lit up and he said, "I understand. If De is not qualified, let him get out." At 6:30 in the morning, as soon as the cafeteria opened, Zhong Yuan was pulled in by his sister. Almost no one steps on the spot to have breakfast. There were only 2 siblings in the huge cafeteria. I don't know whether it was Zhong Yuan who was lively and cute, or whether it was Zhong Yuan who looked sick, or both. But the auntie who cooked the food paid for a single portion and gave her 3 portions. "Children are growing taller, eat more." The chubby aunt warned the brother and sister. "Thank you, auntie, you are so kind, auntie." Zhong Yuan smiled sweetly and thanked her obediently. So, 3 more eggs were given. Zhong Yuan was already numb. He held the heavy tray and found a seat by the window. After sitting down, he said, Lon, I'll just buy breakfast and deliver it to your dormitory. You don't need to get up so early. You're still young. Sleep more to grow taller." "No." Zhong Yuan sat down against him, refused, and said seriously, "I am no longer a child, I am an expert. You don't need to bring food, good guy." Zhong Yuan could not say anything to refute. "Overnight, my sister seemed to have matured a bit, should you be happy?" Zhong Yuan thought for a while and said, "I am the elder brother after all. I hope you can rely on me more." Zhong Yuan immediately leaned over and said proudly, "I will meet your request." Suddenly, cynical laughter came from behind. "TSK, your relationship between brother and sister is so good," that the owner of the voice took the opportunity to sit opposite the Zhong brothers and sisters. "Huh. You ordered so many things, can you finish them? Why don't you share some with me?" Feng Qing took a cooked egg, a basket of steamed buns, and a portion of porridge, took out chopsticks and ate them. "Big brother, are you my brother's friend?" Zhong Yuan recognized him as the brother in sunglasses who followed the instructor on the day of the military training. "So, right." Feng Qing greeted Zhong Yuan unconfidently, and couldn't help but praise, "Your sister is so cute." Zhong Yuan glared at this guy with a murderous look on his face and warned, "Don't try to trick my sister." Feng Qing hurriedly said, "It starts in 3 years, and the upper limit is unlimited. What can I do? At least wait until she is over 16. What did you say? Say it again if you can." Zhong Yuan narrowed his eyes, and the air around him seemed to have dropped a few degrees. Feng Qing had a drop of sweat on his forehead and hurriedly changed the subject. "Are you 2 brothers and sisters?" Zhong Yuan said proudly, "Of course. You can't kiss me anymore." Feng Qing looked happy and said, Okay. Then I'm relieved. Zhong Yuan. Facing Zhong Yuan's murderous eyes, Feng Qing suddenly became serious. Actually, I'm here to inform you that classes will officially start today. You are now a member of the discipline committee, and you have to take time to patrol the campus at noon. It's not difficult, just take a stroll. The college is very peaceful, and there are generally no vicious fights. Every Friday at 3 p.m., the student union will hold a meeting. It's best not to be absent, otherwise your subsidy will be gone. Feng Qing paused and pondered. Let me say this first, there are people in the student union, ahem. It's okay, you can do whatever you want. As long as no one dies, I'll take care of it if something goes wrong. Is this the confidence of the student union president and the medical department expert? Crazy hint that you can beat someone to 3/4 death, then cure him, and make the person who finds trouble suffer repeatedly. Zhong Yuan said expressionlessly, Feng Qing, thank you so much. You're causing trouble for me as soon as the new semester starts. No trouble, no trouble. Feng Qing said hurriedly, you are my brother-in-law, what bad thoughts can I have about you? Zhong Yuan. Zhong Yuan was not interested in the affairs of the student union. She couldn't eat more after a few bites of the dumplings. She stared at Feng Qing's sunglasses out of boredom, seeing that they had almost finished talking, she couldn't help but ask, Big brother, why do you always wear sunglasses? Well. Feng Qing smiled and said, of course it's because my eyes are a little special. I don't want to scare others, so I always wear sunglasses. Zhong Yuan said impolitely, are your eyes scary? Can I see them? Since you are so cute, I'll let you take a look today. There was no one around. Feng Qing took off his sunglasses slightly, revealing a pair of beautiful phoenix eyes. Strangely, his eyeballs were not the dark brown of Chinese people, but a strange dark purple. Even Zhong Yuan was shocked and asked in surprise, colored contact lenses. Feng Qing said lightly, it's natural. My mother absorbed the power of Shujing when she was 3 months pregnant. She didn't know she had me at the time, and she failed many times. In the end, I succeeded. I was born a Wanying user, with superpowers, and my body is stronger than ordinary people. He put on his sunglasses and smiled bitterly, did I scare you? Zhong Yuan smiled and said, no, it's not scary at all. I like purple, it's beautiful. Feng Qing was very moved. He held up the freshly peeled boiled egg with a pious expression, as if he was holding a big diamond ring in his hand, and presented it to Zhong Yuan and said, great. When you are over 16, we will get married immediately. Get out. Stay away from my sister. Chapter 36, Clown. You are listening at novelfull.audio. First grade classroom of the special class, the instructor is teaching. Every time you absorb Su crystal, impurities will remain in the body. After our body is transformed by Su energy, it will have a certain rejection of it. So, the success rate of absorbing Su crystal for the first time is the highest, and the success rate will only decrease after that. A lot of students were drowsy listening below. Suddenly, the student sitting in the last row raised his hand. He was wearing a very special black uniform, and he was the only one who listened carefully and took notes throughout the whole process. I can't remember his name, so let's call him the glasses student, the instructor said kindly. Student, do you have any questions? Zhong Yuan stood up and said solemnly, what will happen if there are too many impurities left in a person's body? The instructor looked solemn and said, theoretically, death will occur. However, there is no such precedent so far. Zhong Yuan pushed his plain glasses, changed direction, and asked, so, when a Su energy user dies, will Su crystal explode like the aliens? This is the first time I have heard this question. The instructor pondered for a while and said, I haven't heard of such a thing so far. The body structure of our human race is different from that of alien races, so we can't generalize. He didn't deny it outright, but the underlying meaning was that it wouldn't happen. Zhong Yuan asked again, let's assume that someone has been absorbing Su crystals since the womb and is born a Su Ning user. Will Su crystals burst out when he dies? The instructor couldn't help but laugh at him, this is treasonous. Using pregnant women for experiments is strictly prohibited by the state. It is impossible for someone to absorb Su crystals from the womb. The assumption is not established in the first place. so there will be no conclusion, the instructor said with a gloomy face. This classmate, it's good to be imaginative, but China's airspace is not a lawless place. You should restrain yourself and don't think too much. As he said that, he looked down at the student list and memorized Zhong Yuan's name. I have to go to the instructor's office later and tell Lu Wen that this student named Zhong Yuan has some dangerous thoughts and it is best to correct them. Sorry, I don't have any questions. Zhong Yuan sat down helplessly, seeing Feng Qing's eyes in the morning. He was inspired to ask questions in class. It seemed to embarrass the instructor. It's not that the instructor can't answer, but that he doesn't want to answer. Zhong Yuan sat in the first row, secretly looking back, and taking pictures with his mobile phone. My brother is so handsome. Even the instructor can't answer the questions he asked. If Lin Dongliang knew that the mobile phone he applied for was used by the little girl to take pictures of his brother, he might be angry to death. This little episode did not bring any waves to the dull class. The cultural knowledge class of the special class is an open book test, and the key points will be marked before the test. As long as you can read, you can pass it. No one pays attention to the basic theories about Su Neng. How much ability a Su Neng person can absorb depends on his personal talent and physique. Who cares about impurities or not? After finally waiting until the end of get out of class, the students dispersed and rushed to the cafeteria. Zhong Yuan excitedly pulled Zhong Yuan and said, "Brother, I want to eat spicy chicken today. I want 2 servings. Zhong Yuan smiled dotingly. When the cafeteria aunt sees you, she will definitely give you more. Can you finish it? If you can't finish it, don't you still have it?" Zhong Yuan touched his nose. Sister's leftovers processor, right? I don't feel anything no matter how much I eat, so a processor is a processor. But Zhong Yuan is not sociable after class, and there is no one to talk to. If she continues like this, she won't make friends. I shouldn't always stick with her. I have to give her some private time. Zhong Yuan thought about it and said, I'm going to patrol during lunch break. What about you? Zhong Yuan immediately made a powerful gesture excitedly. Let's go together. I'm so powerful now, I'll take you flying. Good guy, just became a Su Neng person and his tail is up to the sky. Zhong Yuan said, No, this is my job. How can I rely on my sister? Zhong Yuan smiled. It's okay, brothers and sisters work together, their strength is invincible. The little girl is good at Chinese. I don't know where she learned the lines. There is really no other way. Zhong Yuan had to use his trump card. Lan, be good, go to the library to read books at noon. I will take you to the night market on weekends. Great. Long live my brother. Zhong Yuan cheered happily. Zhong Yuan exhaled. In order to make friends in the college, he was really worried. The spicy chicken in the cafeteria is really delicious. The marinated chicken is fried first, and then stir-fried with green peppers for 30 seconds. After it is out of the pot, the aroma overflows. The tender and juicy chicken is spicy and refreshing, and Zhong Lan's mouth is full of oil. It's a pity that Zhong Yuan can't taste it. However, he is very satisfied to eat with his sister. After eating lunch together and sending her to the library, Zhong Yuan began to stroll around the campus. He believed that he was a man of his word. Since he had promised Feng Qing to join the student union, he would definitely fulfill his duties. On the boulevard, some students saw him in a black uniform and immediately avoided him. Some students were curious and secretly took photos with their mobile phones and posted them on the discussion board of the college forum. Looks like a new discipline committee member. He looks a little handsome while patrolling seriously. In less than half a minute, a bunch of messages appeared below. Which class? He looks so young, he can't be a freshman this year. Impossible. How can a freshman be a discipline committee member right after he arrives? Does anyone know which class he is from? I am going to raise 50 forum experience points to find the new discipline guy. Count me in. I'll do it too. Soon, the crowdfunding ended, and this discussion topic was already tagged as popular and has been at the top of the forum. This is weird, no one knows who he is. Your filter is too much, and the person looks like a zombie. Hee, that's my type. I want to support the discipline guy. The comments were varied. Zhong Yuan didn't know that he had suddenly become popular on the college forum. He walked around the campus and came to a very secluded garbage incinerator. If it were him, he would definitely choose to take action at this place. Zhong Yuan stopped and said loudly, "You have been following me all the way. How long do you want to wait? If you go any further, you won't have a chance to take action." From the beginning of the patrol, Zhong Yuan activated his super perception. He easily controlled all the activities within a kilometer. He soon discovered that there were two people who had been sneaking around behind him, and seemed to have some plans. That's why Zhong Yuan deliberately ran to the remote incinerator to lure them out. "Don't hide. I've already found you." "Yes, I'm talking about you. 25 meters away from the 3 o'clock direction. Do you need me to come in person?" But even the location was reported clearly. Lei Bo could only slowly show up with his little brother. "Ha! You're quite capable. You can actually detect that we are following you." Zhong Yuan saw at a glance that these two people were from the student union, especially the one who was talking, wearing the same black uniform as him, with the word propaganda embroidered on the sleeves. Zhong Yuan said lightly, "What's the matter?" Lei Bo sneered, "Take off your clothes, kneel on the ground and learn to bark like a dog. I can consider letting you go." Zhong Yuan couldn't help but get excited. "So, this is the style of Wanying College. Very good. I really came to the right place." Lei Bo. Chapter 37. This young lady is truly cruel and ruthless. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lei Bo was stunned. "What do you mean? You are about to be bullied and you are still so excited? Could it be that this is a good thing?" Lei Bo got goosebumps all over his body and said dully, "Boy, since you are so sensible, I can promise you that you will not suffer any physical pain." Zhong Yuan tilted his head with a smile on his face. "School bullying, right? He will run into him, and maybe Zhong Yuan will run into him in the future. Fortunately, I came to study with him, and fortunately I became the disciplinary committee member of the student union. The bully bastard should be taught a lesson he will never forget. Repairing him is completely in line with school regulations. With Feng Qing's endorsement, you can do whatever you want as long as you don't kill people." Zhong Yuan said coldly, "What are you thinking about? I will return the words you just said to you intact. Take off your clothes, lie on the ground and learn how to bark like a dog. I will protect you from the pain of your skin. Court death." Lei Bo was furious and quickly put on a pair of metal gloves and activated his abilities. He is a melee warrior capable of both offense and defense. He has been practicing boxing since he was a child, and his number one ability, Crystal Wall Defense, makes him invincible. Moreover, Lei Bo cleverly used this ability on metal gloves, making his fists as hard as iron and greatly increasing his attack power. In addition, Lei Bo also has the ability, intimidating sound waves, which can make the target retreat temporarily. The grade is not high, but it is very practical. Relying on these two abilities, Lei Bo joined the school team from the first grade and replaced Wanying College in the Suning College League. His fighting routine is to first use intimidating sound waves to control the person, and then rush forward to serve him with a punch. As long as you don't meet a few big guys in the academy, you basically have no opponents. The boy next to me had already taken out his mobile phone and started taking videos. This is Lei Bo's habit. Every time he fights, he has to take a photo of his opponent's ugly behavior and then post it on social media to show off. He opened his mouth and let out a silent scream. Inaudible ultrasonic waves can affect the brains of humans and even aliens, making them fearful. However, facing Zhong Yuan with all-conquering intimidation will undoubtedly meet his nemesis. The trench badger's fearlessness makes it immune to any mind control. There is no point in intimidating anyone. Zhong Yuan frowned lightly. What do you want to do with your mouth so wide open? It's too late to beg for mercy now, so I hit you with rage. A fist met Lei Bo's face. He received a punch without warning and was instantly knocked back 2 meters. His cheeks became visibly red and swollen. Lei Bo was stunned. Impossible. Intimidation is ineffective. The opportunity was fleeting and he lost his best chance to switch defenses. The second punch came immediately, followed by the third. Countless fists, as dense as rain, hit him crazily. Lei Bo was stunned for a moment. My head was so dizzy that I no longer had time to react. The whole person flew into the air, and Zhong Yuan punched him hard one after another, keeping him in the air. After a few minutes, the one-sided beating ended. Bang! Lei Bo rolled his eyes and fell to the ground. He passed out completely. His face was swollen like a pig's head and was beyond recognition. Zhong Yuan looked at his fist. There's nothing wrong with it on the surface, but the bones inside are actually broken. From now on, I will try my best to use weapons and fists to fight. It will be a big loss when encountering a tough opponent. Regeneration activates. The next second, the broken bones were rejoined. Zhong Yuan looked calm and said to the frightened attendant, "Send him to the infirmary. I am not responsible for any accidents if he is sent late." The attendant turned pale and nodded vigorously. Too bad. Lei Bo's proud crystal wall defense didn't even have time to activate, and he was beaten to death. He was lying on the ground foaming at the mouth and couldn't even get up. This is one careless move and you lose everything. After Zhong Yuan beat the person, he felt particularly comfortable and murmured, "The student union is really a good place. Not only do you get a stipend, but there are also people who come to my door and give me a beating to help me relax. It's the best. People like this come over every day to relieve my boredom." When Lei Bo's followers heard this, they couldn't help but tremble again. "Demon. Go away quickly, you must not provoke him again." The attendant was so frightened that he peed his pants, set up thunder waves, and fled the scene in a hurry. Zhong Yuan didn't stop him either. The first one to come was just a little guy, trying his skills. The next person to come may be the real master of the student union. Although he wants to keep a low profile, the current situation does not allow him to continue to keep a low profile. Zhong Yuan continues patrolling. The follower carried Lei Bo not far before he was stopped by a short man, covering his face with a handkerchief. "Stop, that the little dwarf has cute twin tails and a clear and melodious voice. You can tell at a glance that she is a cute little girl," the attendant said weakly. "Little sister, what do you want to do?" "I'll take someone to the infirmary in a hurry." Zhong Yuan said fiercely, "Hand over your phone." The first time he threatened someone, Zhong Yuan was a little nervous and said in a trembling voice, "If you don't pay, this is what will happen." That the little short leg stomped lightly, and a deep small footprint suddenly appeared on the cement ground. The attendant was startled. The little masked girl turned out to be a powerful Su Neng. Entering Qingying Academy at such a young age, it is very likely that he is a specially recruited genius this year. If she wants a mobile phone to play with, then give it to her. The follower was like a frightened bird, begging for mercy again and again. "Woman, spare your life. I'll give you my cell phone." That he put Lei Bo on the ground temporarily, then took out his mobile phone and handed it to Zhong Yuan. Password 6 success. Zhong Yuan unlocked the screen with a familiar face, opened the V letter and took a look at it, and said dissatisfiedly, "Why do you only have so many people in your circle of friends?" That the follower didn't know what she wanted to do, so she defended herself. "That is already a lot." Zhong Yuan asked, "Are they all classmates?" That the follower answered honestly, "Yes. There are also a few college tutors and school workers." "That's good." Zhong Yuan pointed at Lei Bo on the ground and said, "Now, you put him like a dead dog, with his butt up, his head down, and surrender with both hands." That the follower suddenly had a bad premonition and said in a trembling voice, Xia, this is not good." "You won't do it, right? Then I'll beat you to death. You two get together. No. The attendant was about to cry. He is just an ordinary person. If he gets kicked, half his life will be gone. Do you want to do it or not? I will give you 10 seconds to think about it. The ultimatum is 3, 2, 1. Please be a human being. The promised 10 seconds. Counting so fast, it doesn't even take 3 seconds. However, you ask a 12-year-old girl to reason? The follower only wanted to hold on to the dog's life, but in desperation, he had no choice but to follow Zhong Yuan's instructions and put the unconscious Lei Bo into a weird dead dog posture. Good. That's it. Now, give me his phone. Zhong Yuan grabbed Lei Bo's finger, unlocked his phone, and started patting it mercilessly. After taking the photo, he opened Lei Bo's circle of friends and uploaded the photo of the dead dog he had just taken into a 9-square grid, make it visible to everyone. Positioned at Qingying College. Done. Zhong Yuan cheered, pulled out the crystal element of Lei Bo's cell phone, threw the machine to the ground, and trampled it to pieces. the attendants were watching this scene shivering, forward withdrawn. The elder brother just now was a bit ruthless at best, but the young aunt in front of me is the real ruthless one. Lei Bo has already died, and it will be his turn soon. The follower begged with tears in his eyes, please, let me go. If Lei Bo knows that I posted photos of his dead dog in the circle of friends, he will definitely kill me. Zhong Yuan looked at him sideways and pouted, why are you panicking? You asked all your friends to repost it on Moments. Could it be that he can kill everyone? Besides, when you were playing with him just now, I took a video. Aren't you afraid that I would show it to him? Scare. You are the devil. Chapter 38 I won't tell you. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 10 minutes ago, Zhong Yuan entered the library, picked up a picture book from the bookshelf, and found a seat to sit down. Without her brother around, she felt more and more bored the more she flipped through the books. In the end, she simply threw the picture book away and ran directly to the top floor of the library. At that time, Zhong Yuan had not gone far. She climbed up and looked far away, and soon found his trace. Then, she followed him all the way, walking on the roof, and shuttled between the college buildings like jumping grids. Don't doubt whether Zhong Yuan can do this, with the skill of super speed. Once the speed reaches a certain extreme, distance is no longer a problem. Although Zhong Yuan has activated super perception, there are too many people on campus, and his attention is all attracted by the two followers, so he didn't notice the little tail following him in the sky. All the conflicts between him and Lei Bo fell into Zhong Lan's eyes. It was far away and he couldn't see clearly. Until the end of the battle, Zhong Yuan didn't realize that Lei Bo was actually a very powerful Su Ning user. The competition between spiritual skills is not something that outsiders can see through. Zhong Yuan only knew that her brother was so powerful that he beat the guy who was looking for trouble. However, he punched so many times before knocking the other person unconscious, and his punches must have hurt. Zhong Yuan felt very distressed. If she had done it, she could have kicked the other person to death in just 1 second. Thinking of this, she felt that she must avenge her brother who was injured by his fist. So, there were the following things. After beating Lei Bo, Zhong Yuan called Lin Dongliang. Lin Dongliang was pleasantly surprised to receive a call from the little girl for the first time. What's the matter? Do you miss Uncle Lin? Didn't we just meet a few days ago? Zhong Yuan pouted and said, I have a question for you. Lin Dongliang was refreshed and said, what's the question? No matter what the question was, he was willing to answer it with Zhong Yuan. Zhong Yuan said, that's right, if someone bullies me, shouldn't I fight back? Lin Dongliang was slightly startled, frowned and said, who dares to bully you? Tell Uncle Lin, I will avenge you. Zhong Yuan said dissatisfiedly, no way. You should avenge yourself. Revenge of the day, not overnight. This child has backbone. Lin Dongliang was full of admiration in his heart, thought for a while and said, revenge is necessary, but you must be careful. If someone bullies you 1 foot, you must return it 10-fold. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Do you really not need Uncle Lin to help you avenge? Zhong Yuan smiled and said, no, I have already avenged it. Lin Dongliang's teachings really touched her heart. Even Uncle Lin said so. I did the right thing, that is, I can't let my brother know. If he knows that I helped him avenge, he will definitely feel embarrassed. I am now a very powerful Su Ning, and I can't hurt my brother's young self-esteem. Zhong Yuan ran away with a hop. Student Union office. Shang Wanyi put down his phone and said to Jian Ro, who was doing a spreadsheet, Lei Bo is broken. Ah. What did you say? Jian Ro's face was confused. Shang Wanyi said lightly, you will know if you look at Lei Bo's circle of friends. What happened? Jian Ro picked up her phone and opened WeChat. She was shocked to find that Lei Bo had sent a 9-square photo without any text. The picture was too small to see clearly what it was. Jian Ro clicked on a photo and immediately widened her eyes in shock. Is this Lei Bo? In the photo, his clothes were torn, and he was lying on the ground in a strange posture, with his butt raised high, and his 2 hands in a kneeling surrender gesture, and he was photographed from all angles. Looking at his face again, it was swollen like a pig's head. If you are not very familiar with him, you can't recognize him at all. the weirdest thing is that he actually posted his embarrassing appearance of being beaten into a pig's head in his circle of friends. Jian-ro couldn't help but burst out laughing. Who put this up? It's so cruel. Jian-ro strongly condemned it while covering her mouth and laughing. She didn't show any sympathy for Lei Bo at all. Shangguan was very dissatisfied with her reaction and frowned. Is that all you want to say? Jian-ro said softly. He went to find that freshman, right? It seems that freshman is quite capable. Lei Bo, on the other hand, was treated so badly. With his face-saving personality, he might make things worse. Shangguan did not comment on Zhong Yuan's ability, but said lightly, as long as he is in the college, he dare not make trouble. It's hard to say after he leaves the college. Jian-ro's expression changed slightly, and she heard his hidden meaning, and said seriously, Shangguan, don't mess around. Shangguan face was calm. I didn't do anything. You think I'm going to mess around? You are prejudiced against me. Look at what that freshman did. How can he take our seniors in the student union seriously? Today, he played a prank on Lei Bo, and tomorrow he might shit on our heads. Anyway, don't worry about this matter. Jian-ro's expression was uncertain, and she didn't continue talking. When Feng Qing went to the infirmary to treat Lei Bo, he found the boy lying on the bed crying. He had been unconscious for more than an hour, and found that his phone was crushed. He quickly asked someone to buy a new one and replace the SIM card. Unfortunately, it was too late. The fatal circle of friends dynamic had been posted for at least more than 2 hours. When he saw that post, Lei Bo was like a bolt from the blue. He was shocked and angry. He hurriedly deleted his friend's circle and rushed to the college's forum immediately. He is a publicity committee member and manages the operation of the forum. As expected, he saw ugly photos of himself in several sections. It has received thousands of likes and the discussion is lively. Many people thought it was performance art, while others thought it was school bullying. Only a small number of people felt that the situation was serious and some wanted to challenge the majesty of the student union. Last year, the college won the top 10 in the high school league, and the celebration post sent out only had the word explosive at the end. At this moment, there were actually 3 explosions behind Lei Bo's ugly photo. He collapsed on the spot, in a fit of anger. He used the administrator permission and cleared all the forums. After doing this, Lei Bo realized that he had gotten into big trouble. Although most of them are boring posts, the special section of the special class contains a lot of experiences about practicing and absorbing Su crystals. If they are all deleted, it will definitely cause strong dissatisfaction among the students. Seeing Feng Qing coming, Lei Bo crawled up and rushed to him, choking and saying, President, I was beaten by Zhong Yuan. He also took ugly photos of me and posted them on social media. Feng Qing looked stunned and said with contempt in his heart, Are you a primary school student? If someone beats you, report it to your parents. Lei Bo and Shangguan have a good relationship, so he must have been provoked, and he went to trouble Zhong Yuan without even thinking. His crystal wall defense is indeed a good ability, but it focuses more on team defense. It takes time to activate, unlike Feng Yuma's copper-skinned iron bones, which are passive abilities and will be activated when attacked. Even Feng Yuma almost died at Zhong Yuan's hands. How could Lei Bo get better under his hands? You know, Zhong Yuan is the 68th Xian Ming on the youth rankings. I just won't tell you. You must know that Shangguan, the top master in Chengying College, is only ranked around 200. Feng Qing was secretly happy in his heart, and was not in a hurry to treat him. Instead, he sat on the chair and said leisurely, Come on, tell me what trick that kid used to defeat you. Lei Bo felt aggrieved. I have been beaten like this, and you actually want me to recall it again and tell you in person. So insulting. Chapter 39 I don't mean to hit you in the face. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Feng Qing's mouth was full of sarcasm, and he could always make people feel insulted just right. Lei Bo was still counting on him to use his healing skills. Even though he was deeply unhappy, he still described the situation at that time. I threatened him first as usual, but it didn't seem to affect him at all. Then, I didn't even have a chance to fight back and was beaten down. Oh. Intimidation is ineffective? Don't look at me like that. I didn't know you would go to him. I didn't reveal your ability to him. Besides, even if you reveal it to him, he won't be able to resist your intimidation even if he doesn't have the ability to resist mind control. Lei Bo finally felt better, sniffed and said, so, it's not that I'm weaker than him, it's that his ability happens to restrain me. Feng Qing. Why didn't I know that Zhong Yuan still had the ability to resist mind control? How much ability does this kid hide? Speaking of which, the Guihao Badger's ruins crystal should have been given to him. Feng Qing was thoughtful and asked hurriedly, did he use a weapon? No. He beat me with his bare hands for 5 minutes. 5 minutes, Feng Qing nodded and sighed, yes, why did he hit you with his fist? It would be better if he used a weapon. Lei Bo couldn't help but shudder, what do you mean? If Zhong Yuan uses a weapon, my life will be decided, okay? In fact, Feng Qing did not deliberately mock Lei Bo. He just wants to know whether Zhong Yuan has the ability of the ghost trench badger. My heart felt itchy, like a cat's claws scratching and scratching. I'm so curious that I can't go over and ask myself in person. Alas, alas. What a pity. Feng Qing sighed repeatedly. Lei Bo suffered another 10,000-point critical hit and finally became excited. President. After the beating, he took a photo and posted it on the circle of friends using my mobile phone. Now all my friends know that I was beaten to death. How do you think I can get around in school in the future? I must be punished. Ever since he obtained the ability of the crystal wall, Lei Bo had a smooth sail and was directly selected into the academy team. In the first grade, he represented the college in the Suning College League. On the field, he used crystal walls to protect his teammates and almost never suffered. However, facing Zhong Yuan, he tasted unprecedented pain, and his soul was hit with a devastating blow. He must be punished. If he is not punished, I, Lei Bo, will be the first to refuse. Feng Qing had heard about things in the circle of friends and thought, no wonder Feng Yuma once commented that Zhong Yuan was sinister and cunning, it's so cruel, it will kill Lei Bo directly and make him unable to live a good life. Yes, yes, kill the chicken to scare the monkeys. Next time someone wants to deal with Zhong Yuan, they have to think about whether they can withstand the social impact of the circle of friends. In the spirit of humanitarianism, Feng Qing comforted him with kind words, Lei Bo, don't think too much. As time goes by, everyone will forget about you being beaten, and it will be fine by then. Lei Bo shouted with red eyes, what if someone saves the photo and threatens to blackmail me for the rest of my life? After all, I am the Iron Wall Defense of Chengying College, and the master ranked 748 on the youth list. Feng Qing's head was huge, and he secretly complained, if the group defense ability was not too rare, someone like you wouldn't be able to be selected for the school team. It's ranked so low, so don't be embarrassed by saying it. Feng Qing said impatiently, I'm not your nanny. What should I do if you ask me? How do I know? Besides, Zhong Yuan is the person I recommended, and you went to beat him and asked me to punish him. You clearly want to hit me in the face. Since there is no danger to your life, I'll leave first. Ah. Lei Bo was completely dumbfounded, President. I don't want to slap you in the face. Wait a minute and treat me. Feng Qing ran away without looking back. The next day, he received news that Lei Bo had applied to the Academic Affairs Office for a suspension of study. It seems that the doctor who bribed the physical examination said that he was mentally damaged and needed to go home to rest. Finally, the college approved Lei Bo's suspension of study for half a year. Half a year later, it will be the annual Suning College League. As the main player, he has to come back to participate in training. By then, it will be unclear whether he will still have a seat on the main roster. Half a year is enough time for a new student to grow up. Those who deserve to be eliminated are eliminated, leaving only the talented ones to continue receiving elite education in the academy. On the other side, it has only been a few days since school started, and the students in special classes have changed a lot. The temporary team formed during military training suddenly dispersed after a week's vacation. Students who fail to absorb abilities are deliberately alienated by their peers. The students who became Suning took the initiative to gather together and reformed a small team. This is the case for Xie Feng's team. At that time, Wang Xiaoyan was designed by Xie Feng and ran out of the safe zone. There were only 3 people left in their team. In fact, Xie Feng just wanted someone to occupy a seat in the safe area. The 2 team members were too timid to go out hunting frost snakes, and he didn't force them. Feng Yuma swept through most of the snake caves and took away a large amount of ruined crystals, but there was no end to the snakes, and there were always a few lone frost and snow snakes. Moreover, with the snake cave group destroyed and the new generation walking in the jungle, it will be much safer. Xie Feng held the map in hand and found that several areas where frost and snow snakes gathered had been vandalized. He carefully picked them out and encountered almost no danger, killing several snakes. At the end of the military training, 8 Su crystals were obtained. Except for Zhong Yuan, his harvest was the first in the class. How could the ruined crystals earned with one's life be shared with one's companions? They had no friendship in the first place, and it was just a temporary team. The 2 chatted in the safe house all day long, and they were too lazy to even fetch water. Xie Feng would go out every time to help them fill the kettle. They told them that they had gained nothing, and they didn't doubt it. After all, there were people from other teams in the safe house. Listening to their chats, you can know that many people gained nothing. In the end, they just played badly together. After leaving the Fangjia, at the end of a week's vacation, the 2 were shocked to find that half of the students in the class had been reborn and gathered together to talk about their experience in absorbing ruined crystals. Xie Feng was so enthusiastic in helping to fetch water in the Fangjia, and he kept saying that he would help each other and fight together. Now he doesn't even look at them or talk to them. Yes, Xie Feng has successfully become a ruin power user. The frost snake has no powerful attack skills. He didn't want to gamble on death immunity, so he gave the ruined crystal to his brother to sell for cash. Finally, he bought an iron-tailed crocodile ruined crystal in the trading market. This ruined crystal has only one ability, Iron Tail. Grade Green level LV2. It is the Iron Tail crocodile's signature skill for attacking, using the strong giant tail behind it to sweep the enemy. After the ruin energy user absorbs the ability, an invisible tail will grow behind him. Experiments have shown that this tail is exactly the same as the Iron Tail crocodile's iron tail. When used to attack the enemy, it is not only fast and powerful, but also elusive, making it difficult to predict its movements. In the market, the price of an Iron Tail crocodile ruin crystal is about 50,000 yuan, and it is often in short supply. Xie Feng finally found one, bought it quickly, and found Lu Wen to activate it. The Iron Tail crocodile ruin crystal has a success rate of 40% absorption. With the help of Lu Wen, Xie Feng succeeded. He is not the only student who does this. There are more than a dozen students in the class who bring their own ruin crystals and let Lu Wen activate them. They all have family foundations, not just grassroots. As a result, the class is seriously polarized. Students who become Suning have already set their sights on the school team selection, and even started looking for a lifelong friend. Those students who are still ordinary people are anxious, and they want to get Su Jing, but they have no way to do so, and they are looking for it every day. In addition, there are 2 special students in the class, Zhong Yuan and Zhong Lan. Everyone knows that they are brother and sister. Moreover, everyone is guessing where the 2 come from. Zhong Lan was given special care and did not enter the Fangjia. It is obvious that she is very special and maybe a genius, and Zhong Yuan is even more outrageous. He joined the student union at the beginning of the school. At first, many students did not know what his black uniform meant, but they were surprised when they asked about it. Being able to join the student union means that your strength has been recognized by the members of the student union. Xie Feng also noticed that the word discipline was embroidered on Zhong Yuan's uniform. He, the discipline committee member, a core member of the student union. His brother Xie Han is an officer in the propaganda department of the student union, and his status is far inferior to Zhong Yuan. Xie Feng had the opportunity to team up with Zhong Yuan in Fangjia. However, he was obsessed with appearance and judged people by appearance. Not only did he fail to team up, but he also had a bad relationship. Now Zhong Yuan is the top boss in the class. Because he is too cold and only talks to his sister, no one dares to approach him. Originally, I could be friends with him. Xie Feng felt bitter and regretful. After the afternoon class, the Zhong brothers and sisters left the classroom talking and laughing. Xie Feng hesitated for a moment and chased after them. Chapter 40 Su Wanying. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Zhong Yuan. A familiar voice came from behind. Isn't it Xie Feng who is smart and selfish in Fangjie? He has been doing well in class these days, telling people that he has become a Suning person, and there are always a group of people talking around him. His teammates who used to be with him have been completely banished to the cold palace, and Huang Xiaoyan has also disappeared. Zhong Yuan has no interest in dealing with such people. On the contrary, Zhong Yuan turned her head to look without any intention, and her chubby little face was full of confusion. Who are you? Do you know my brother? It's too much. We have been in class together for several days, but I don't even remember what the classmate behind me looks like. Xie Feng secretly complained. Zhong Yuan, I'm sitting behind you, you're in the first row, I'm in the second row. We're classmates. Zhong Yuan stuck out her tongue and said playfully, so you're sitting behind me. Sorry, I didn't notice you. Xie Feng continued to complain in his heart, you look back so many times a day, what are you looking at? He walked quickly towards the two of them, letting Zhong Yuan walk in the middle, smiled awkwardly, and asked, are you going to the cafeteria to eat? What nonsense, it's time for dinner, what else can you do if you don't go to eat? Zhong Yuan didn't want to deal with Xie Feng, and said coldly, don't tell me you want to sit at the same table with us. It's obvious that he refused to eat together, but Xie Feng had long since developed a thicker face than a city wall, and said enthusiastically, there's a new spicy hot pot shop nearby, the taste is pretty good. In addition to spicy hot pot, there are also barbecue and oysters. I'll treat you. Do you want to go? The total amount of the Frost Snow Snake Ruins crystals sold was less than 1 million. And it didn't cost much to buy the iron-tailed crocodile, so Xie Feng still had a lot of money left in his account, a real dog-rich man. Treating the Zhong brothers and sisters to a meal is just a drizzle, however, we are not related, why should I let you treat me? Can't I afford spicy hot pot? Zhong Yuan was about to refuse, but Zhong Yuan agreed with a smile. Okay, you can't go back on your word. I want to eat lamb skewers, grilled chicken hearts, and 3 servings of luncheon meat in the spicy hot pot. Zhong Yuan's mouth twitched slightly, and he said earnestly, Lan, eating these things all the time is not good for your health. Zhong Yuan felt a little aggrieved and whispered, how can I eat them all the time? I haven't eaten spicy hot pot for a long time. Brother, just agree. Xie Feng was delighted, the dinner date was settled. These days he has been observing the preferences of the Zhong brothers and sisters. When it's time for dinner, he deliberately follows them to the cafeteria to see what dishes they order. Zhong Yuan likes spicy food, especially spicy chicken. Sometimes he even orders 2 servings at night and never gets tired of it. Zhong Yuan is a little weird, not only does he eat less than girls, but he only eats his sister's leftovers every time and finally completes the CD operation. It's not without reason that his face is so ugly all year round and his body is not strong. People who don't know him think he is a poor household and can't afford to eat in the cafeteria. Xie Feng knew, however, that the allowances enjoyed by the student union members were frighteningly high. His brother Xie Han was just an ordinary staff member, and he could receive a subsidy of 30,000 yuan per week, not to mention that Zhong Yuan was a member of the discipline committee, so his subsidy would not be low, but would only be higher. The average meal in the cafeteria was more than 10 yuan, and a double portion of spicy chicken was more than 20 yuan. Could Zhong Yuan not afford it? Did he have anorexia? After careful observation for several days, Xie Feng could not judge what Zhong Yuan liked to eat, so he could only start with his sister. Success. Zhong Yuan was very interested in Malatang. Zhong Yuan doted on his sister and did not want to go, but he could not persuade her to keep begging, so he had to agree. The 3 of them left the school gate. The shops on the 3 streets in front and behind were managed by Qingying College and served the students in the school. In some shops, students in special classes could get discounts when they went in. Xie Feng took them across a street and came to a Malatang shop. There was indeed a sign at the door saying opening sale, 15% off for the whole store within a month. The afternoon class had just ended not long ago. It was not even 5 o'clock yet, but the store was already 90% full. 3 people needed a whole table. Zhong Yuan took a look and found that there were no empty tables, so, he said decisively, pack it up and take it home to eat. Oh my god. There is still this trick. Xie Feng's face turned black. If he had known earlier, he should have asked someone to come and take a seat. If we take it back and can't chat for a few words, what's the point of his treating? At this moment, someone in the store suddenly called out. Brother Fungjie. Over here. Zhong Yuan looked in the direction of the voice and saw a long-haired girl smiling and waving at him. She looked about 17 or 18 years old, with a dignified and beautiful appearance, and 2 cute dimples on her cheeks when she smiled. She was wearing a special class uniform, which set off her tall figure and magnificent breasts. Seeing Zhong Yuan standing still, she urged him again, hurry up, I have an empty seat here. That she was the only one sitting at her table, and there were exactly 3 empty seats. Xie Feng hurriedly said to Zhong Yuan, let's go over there. Who knew that Zhong Yuan frowned and snorted, I want to take it away. Xie Feng said with a frown, it won't taste good if you take it back. I'll buy you another ice cream later, 1 vanilla ball and 1 strawberry ball. Is that okay? After hearing this, Zhong Yuan reluctantly walked towards the empty table. Zhong Yuan glanced at Xie Feng for a second. He actually found out what Zhong Yuan likes to eat. What exactly does he want to do? Is he thinking something bad? When he came to the table, Zhong Yuan sat down on the empty side and said to Xie Feng in an unquestionable tone, you sit opposite, the seat next to me is my brother's. Xie Feng was so upset that he had to do as he was told. After Zhong Yuan sat down, he looked at the menu and thanked the girl opposite him. He asked casually, do you know me? The girl smiled and said, no, but it's not too late to know now. My name is Su Wanying, what's your name? Zhong Yuan said, my name is Zhong Yuan, and this is my sister Zhong Yuan. So big. Zhong Yuan stared at Su Wanying's chest, muttered something vaguely, and then shifted his gaze. The brother and sister reacted indifferently. However, the name Su Wanying was a household name for Xie Feng. He suddenly got excited and shouted, you are Su Wanying, the little princess of Beichen family. Su Wanying said embarrassedly, what princess or not, it's just a nickname given by outsiders. Zhong Yuan made a mark on the electronic menu and said casually, is she famous? Xie Feng whispered, of course she is famous. The strongest assistant of Qingying College, one of the top 10 outstanding youths in Shandong City, the eldest daughter of Beichen Group, and the 171st on the list of young people in Suningsha. It is said that her suitors can line up 30 circles around the college. Zhong Yuan immediately ordered 3 braised pig's feet and said angrily, what's so great about it? When I grow up, my suitors can circle the earth 30 times. Xie Feng. Su Wanying chuckled and said to Zhong Yuan, your sister is so interesting. Zhong Yuan said lightly, she often says shocking things, I'm used to it. At this time, Su Wanying's spicy hot pot was delivered. She ordered a non-spicy milky flavor, a lot of vegetarian dishes, and ate them in small bites. Her movements were very polite. Zhong Yuan asked the waiter for 3 bottles of drinks. Xie Feng said, Zhong Yuan, have you heard? Someone on the school team has dropped out. Zhong Yuan was not interested, and said, I don't know, I haven't heard. Su Wanying interrupted and said, every year, the college selects students from special classes to participate in the Suningsha College League, and each team has 6 people. But it is said that this year the league has been restructured, and the number of people in each team in the team competition has been changed to 4. Each school can register 2 teams to participate. This is a heavy news. Xie Feng quickly pricked up his ears and continued to listen. Su Wanying continued, the person who is on leave is Lei Bo, a sophomore. He was originally responsible for defense in the team. Now he is on leave, and the league is being restructured, so I think this is an opportunity. Zhong Yuan always felt that she was always peeking at her brother, and she couldn't help but frown and asked, how do you know so much? Su Wanying smiled and said, because I am a member of the school team. The selection will start in a few days. It takes some time to form a team, so we have to select people in advance. Zhong Yuan said lightly, you deliberately told me this, what do you mean? Su Wanying said seriously, since Feng Qing pulled you into the student union, it means that you are very strong. I think you can fight for a place in the school team.